helping women with invisible illnesses realize that you don't have to wait. I said that wrong. I was wondering how this was going to go tonight. I got to be real honest with y'all. Until about 25, 30 minutes ago, I wasn't planning on doing a video. I was just flat out, screw it. I'm not doing it. I am so exhausted. I had 2 nights this week, Monday night and last night, where due to circumstances beyond my control, I I had a lot of anxiety, and both nights I was not. I'm usually pretty good at reining that stuff in, but I'm not perfect at it. And I think it's harder when I'm already flaring because I'm already so behind the 8 ball. But I wasn't able to rein it in. And as a result, Monday night I slept for like just under 4 hours. Last night I slept just over three. And yeah, y'all, I'm too old for that. I'm too old for that. But you know what? I got through my day today. I'm not going to lie. This morning it was rough. I was laying in bed and I'm like, oh my God, how the hell am I going to do this? Well, first of all, thank goodness I didn't have to work today. I'm working part time this summer, and it's nice because I kind of get to choose my hours. And I didn't have a whole lot to do today, but I didn't work today. So that was one thing I was really grateful for. Um, but if I did not have a an inclination towards being grateful, I would not have made it through the day with a good attitude because it was tough. I was so gosh damn tired and I hurt. Y'all, if you've never laid awake in the middle of the night, curled up in a little ball because you hurt so freaking bad, you're just afraid to move. Somehow, I don't know how, but somehow I get it in my mind that if I can just be still enough, maybe it'll quiet and I can go to sleep. Doesn't work that way. In case you were wondering, it doesn't work that way. But it's been a rough week, and really truly a sense of gratitude. It's what gets me through days like this. This information, by the way, is from Psychology Today. It's I really think gratitude is important for everybody, but I think if you're dealing with chronic health issues, I truly think it's essential. I'm sorry, it's really warm in this room. We're finally having a nice day. I feel like absolute crap, and we finally have a nice day, like one of maybe 10 all summer. But science backed reasons why you should practice gratitude. Number one, it helps foster relationships. Well, certainly. We all like to be acknowledged. So if somebody does something kind for you and you say, wow, thanks. That was so nice of you. I really appreciate that. You know what? That makes you more likable. You expressing gratitude, you being kind, it makes you more likable. Why? Because we all like to be acknowledged. Number two benefit of gratitude. This is really interesting to me. And this is why I think it's so important for people with health issues. It's good for your physical health. What? Isn't that crazy? But a 2012 study showed that people who are grateful tend to have a lot less aches and pains. Plus, people who are grateful are more likely to exercise and eat well. And I will tell you that personally speaking, my sense of gratitude, I learned that when I got back into fitness, like, oh my gosh, probably 15 plus years ago. I'm so bad with time frames. But at the time, I was so unhealthy. I couldn't barely do 10 minutes. I could barely do 10 minutes on a Wii Fit. That's a children's toy. But you know what? That's where I was at one point. But I learned to be grateful because at that point I was looking ahead to a future that was nothing but more doctor's appointments and more medications and more pain, and I didn't see any hope in that. Somehow, I don't really understand how it worked, and to be honest, I don't care how it worked. I'm just happy that it worked. Somehow, in my love of fitness, I developed a sense of gratitude. It's like this morning, I felt like crap. I didn't want to get up and exercise. I had 3 hours of sleep. Now, I did cut my exercise back quite a bit this morning, but I still exercised. And while I was exercising, it was hard. It was really challenging. But I just get this deep sense of gratitude of, Thank you, God. Thank you. Okay, today's not the best day in the world, but I'm still healthy enough to get up. I have the ability to make this choice, whether I'm going to exercise or not. I have the ability to choose whether I'm going to be grateful for this experience this morning, or if I'm going to be pissy because I can't do it. I can't do it this morning. Everything is tight. My body's not cooperating. I had a lot of that going on, but why get upset about it? I am so fortunate that I have the ability to make that choice every day. I'm grateful for that. Number 3, exercise is also, not exercise, although that it's true for exercise too, but gratitude is also very good for our mental health. It helps reduce a lot of our uncomfortable emotions. Now, I listened to a lady talk about emotions, and I just went blank on the name of her YouTube channel. But if you're interested, drop me a line. I'll tell you. I'll find it because she's really good. But I was listening to her. It wasn't long after my mom passed. And I was dealing with grief and just a lot of stress and guilt and all the crap that goes along with that. And she said, you can't think of them as, she didn't put it quite this way, but she shouldn't think of them as negative emotions because they serve a purpose. Grief, as unpleasant as it is, grief serves a purpose. If we didn't grieve, how the hell would we know that we lost somebody that we cared about? These emotions, even when they're horrifyingly unpleasant, they do serve a purpose. They are important. But being grateful, if you don't like dealing with those emotions, which none of us do, being grateful is going to help reduce a lot of those unpleasant emotions like resentment, envy, frustration, regret. You want to talk frustrating? Frustrating is when today I could stand up, I could do a forward fold and my hands will be flat on the floor. Tomorrow I stand up to do a forward fold and I can barely get past my knees. That's frustrating. I could easily focus on that. Instead, I'm not going to lie, that thought hits my mind, but I choose to focus on, you know what? I'm grateful that I got off my ass and I got my yoga mat out and I'm doing something. Even if all I do is like 10 minutes, I'm so grateful for that time because that's 10 minutes that I took charge of my situation. Anyway, multiple studies link gratitude with a sense of well-being, and we all want that. And grateful people are just happier. Well, of course, because we're looking for reasons to be happy. It just amazes me how many people choose to go through life looking for things to be offended by. Well, guess what? If that's your approach to life, you're guaranteed to find things to be offended by. But why do you choose that? Why I don't understand that at all. You have the same choice that I do. I'm sorry, my hair's driving me crazy. You have the same choice that I do. You can look at your situation and feel sorry for yourself because maybe things aren't perfect, or you can be really grateful for what you've got. Grateful people are just happier. Number 4, grateful people are less likely to be jerks. We're less likely to retaliate against others. Gratitude leads to more empathy and sympathy and less aggression. Too bad you can't really force people to be grateful, but you can't. But you look at what's going on in our society today, and people are so ugly to each other. And I have a hard time. I'm really naive about that. And I'm glad to be. I don't want to be jaded on that. I would prefer to be constantly shocked by how crappy people are to each other. Anyway. Yeah, I just saw a video like that not long before I got on here. Number 5, science-backed reason why you should practice gratitude. It helps improve your sleep. They did a study in 2011 that showed a gratitude journal, a simple little gratitude journal, is linked with better sleep. It's no big deal. Don't overthink it. Just keep a little notebook next to your bed and spend a couple of minutes every night. Write down a few things you're grateful for. And if you're really struggling, if you're really down, and because I've been there, I've really been there. If you're really down and you're sitting there, screw you, lady. I don't have anything to be grateful for. Sure you do. You have a lot to be grateful for. You just can't see it right now for whatever reason. But you have a roof over your head. That's a hell of a lot to be grateful for. Do you have heating or air conditioning? That's a lot to be grateful for. Do you have running water? Do you have electricity? Those things you should be grateful. We take all that stuff for granted in the Western society, and we shouldn't. Those things put you ahead of so many people on this planet. You need to be grateful. Number 6, gratitude boosts your self-esteem. A 2014 study published in the Journal of Applied Sports Psychology showed that gratitude increased confidence in athletes, and confidence, of course, is an essential aspect of performance. Other studies have shown that gratitude helps curb social comparisons. Do not compare yourself to other people. For one thing, you have no idea. You have no idea what's going on in their life. You just know what they've chosen to show you. So you can't, if you have to compare yourself to somebody, and I'll be honest, this is an area I struggle with a lot. But if you have to compare yourself with somebody else, choose somebody who is less fortunate than you are. Why? So that you'll remember to be grateful for the things that you have in your life that are good. And you've got so many blessings in your life. I know it's hard to see sometimes. I do. But it's a choice. It's that simple. At the end of the day, it's a choice. You need to be appreciative. If somebody else accomplishes something, it doesn't take anything away from you. Don't be jealous. If you want what they have, get off your ass and do what they're doing so you can achieve it. It's that simple. People who are grateful, we know that someone else's success doesn't take anything away from us. Be happy when somebody that you care about is doing well. Yeah, I'll be honest, I get a little, oh man. But then I correct myself because I know if I want what they have, all I got to do is ask, hey, how'd you do that? And they'd tell me. And if it's somebody famous and you don't have the access to ask and they'll tell you, guess what? I can just about guarantee there's going to be a trail online of stories that'll help you figure out how they got from point A to point B. If you're envious of someone else's accomplishments, you're not grateful. You're not a happy person. Finally, the seventh science-backed reason why you should be grateful. It increases your mental fortitude. There's been numerous studies that show gratitude has a tremendous impact on overcoming trauma. The ability to be grateful when things are rough, that builds resilience. I am a seriously resilient, I almost said a bad word, but I am so goddamn resilient. I would have to say that is, in my opinion, my biggest strength, because I have been through some shit. And you know what? I'm still smiling and I'm still grateful and I still genuinely like people and I still sincerely want to help other people. And I'm grateful all the time that I'm not, I was so bitter and angry for the longest time about my health situation. And what's funny about that is my health was so much better then than it is now. But my life is a hell of a lot more difficult now because of my other health issues. But I'm a lot happier than I used to be because I do understand, even on days like today. This is where I was at. So first, I was so tired this morning. My thyroid medicine, I'm supposed to take it first thing in the morning, so I keep it on my nightstand. Well, I went to take it this morning, and I'm like, where the hell are my thyroid pills? So I was originally kind of had just a little bit of light, and I wasn't gonna turn on my lamp because I didn't, when you're not totally awake, I didn't want to wake up to that level. And then I was like, oh, what the hell did I do with my thyroid med? So I turn on the lamp and I'm looking everywhere and I'm looking under the table and behind the table and my little end table and nothing. And I finally sat back on the bed and I'm just like, I have absolutely no idea what the hell. I just had them yesterday. What could I have done with them? Well, you know what I had done with them? I'd already set them down on the bed. They were right next to where I was sitting. I moved enough that the bottle rattled. So that was like, okay, this can be that kind of day, is it? And so I went on my Twitter account and I'll be honest, I whined, I'll own it. And one of my friends immediately retweeted me and asked her followers to pray for me. And I just was in a place this morning where I started to cry. Just that simple act of kindness. It made me cry, but they weren't sad tears. I was, you know what I was? I was grateful. I'm grateful that I have people like that in my life who understand when I'm having a rough day and they don't judge me when I'm making this. I didn't ask for help, but it was a cry for help. And the people who can be there to lift you up on those days, you need to be grateful for those people because they're a blessing. Speaking of people I'm grateful for, my some of you know I have ladies that I go out with once a month. They're good friends of mine. They're colleagues from work, and we're going out tomorrow. And I'm exhausted and I feel horrible, but I'm really excited. Even though I'm not a big fan of the restaurant we're going to, but the company will be amazing, and that's the important part. Y'all have a great night. If you have any questions, drop me a line on Twitter at Alaskan Courtney. I try to be very responsive. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will be back Monday at 5 o'clock Alaska time.